My name is Jonathan Parks, and welcome to Jonathan's Nature Crafts. I got on today to give a little tutorial as to how we convert a pattern. One of the things I'll show you all here is that one of my customers at one of my more recent craft shows asked me if I could make a Dalmatian. I said I could create a pattern for one, so here's how I do it. You'll see the laptop is kind of fading there, but here's a few things I want to show you as to how it's done. It just so happens that you want to pick the dog pattern that is the closest size to the one you're going to convert it to. In this case, I chose the Doberman pincher that I already have a pattern of because that's about the closest in size to a Dalmatian out of what I have. And there's a few things I'd like to mention as to how we convert a pattern from a Doberman pincher into a Dalmatian. You will note here that there's kind of a way they do its ear. So I'm going to decide to try to convert the ear a little bit so it's going to be about the same. And I say that it's going to be where it's going to come about close to the chin, where you see the little curve that is below the chin on this one, and it's not just pointed like it is for the Doberman. So we're going to kind of make an extra line for that. And you're going to see how we kind of have the little place up here for the ears and how we're going to sort of measure it down just like this to make it so it comes about down to where the Dalmatian's ear lies. Another thing we use is whiteout. Whiteout like this, I mean, is something people don't use as much anymore for things, since it's kind of not for what it used to be. They've kind of like, for all this stuff involving typing that they used to do it for, they have like found out other ways to white things out through computers and all, but I still use it to kind of convert these patterns because it's useful to it. And so that is one way we kind of come out to an ear. And since the ear is necessarily black, you might want to kind of shade it in a little bit so that you will know that when you do it on some white wood, that is the part you want to burn in. And there's also a few little other steps we got to take here. To some way, we've kind of got to make it so we put a little bit of something in to remove that little pointed line where the chin used to be and do a little work there. I'd say for a Dalmatian, it might be a little different from the Doberman in the sense that you kind of see where the nose is on there and where the eyes are. So you probably want to get those in a proper place when you do the actual carving. So it becomes a good idea to try to like maybe put them into the design in a way to try to get them so they'll be a little more outright. And so I say with this kind of working and how it does, it's just going to be a thing where we'll put a little bit of something into the piece to kind of make it so the eye will show out a little more. And when it comes down to it, it might just actually be like so many eyes we've done before where we just kind of put a little mark in with the rotary tool, but might want to do this one a little different and kind of add in the nose as well so that we'll know it's in its right place. And probably to that matter, maybe flatten the face out a little more so it's comes off a little friendlier. Once we kind of go around to doing the whole thing and patch up with a little white out this place here along the part of the face. And I say with all the things we're doing here, we're kind of just sort of making these lines where they're coming in the place that we're going to see that this is done smoothly and goodly. And I say that there's probably going to be a thing or two here where we might kind of put in a little more here, raise up the face a little bit, and maybe even I'd say be a good idea to kind of raise the ear up a little bit as well. Try to get it into such a good spot as we think it needs to be, and kind of get to the point where it's going to have a lasting little effect to the dog itself. And this is how we've come along at this point. Maybe kind of bring the curve along a little bit with the ear and remove it along the place where it comes and goes. And I say that with this little Dalmatian dog, it's going to be just the thing that we see the most when it comes down to what we have. Just add a little bit of space there. There's a place where we kind of come, I'd say about a couple of photos down, and to the point where we kind of see a little bit more, like this is where you can see that the legs can kind of be squatted back a little bit, which is originally how they are on this Doberman pattern, and that's okay. And when we go down one more photo, we can see that where you notice that the tail in some of those original photos was kind of straight up, that causes it to break too easily when it becomes a carving. So we would kind of rather just make a tail that comes out here behind the legs, because as you see in this photo here, the tail can come down a little bit more. So we're going to try to make it just like that and see what we're coming down to with just removing this little spot that made the Doberman tail. Because I will tell y'all, I still have the Doberman pattern. This is just a carbon copy of it, and I'm taking the carbon copy and making something different of it. And y'all will probably even note that a Dalmatian has spots. And of course, the spots can be added in with the wood burner. But when we come down to that part, we can put the spots into random places, because every Dalmatian is different, has its spots patterned differently and in different places. So we might finish shading in the ear here a little bit right now, but you know, you can just practically burn in the spots just about anywhere. And we're gonna go up a little bit, kind of look at these pictures, make sure we got the neck right. But as you see here, there is kind of a little curve behind the head and the neck. So one little curve to be added back here will be essential. And just taking a little white out to white that out. So I was happy to come on here and show you all this today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you will stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.